Class 12th, Subject Physics, 10th chapter, Magnetic Fields due to electric current. From this chapter, let us see the magnetic potential energy of a magnetic dipole. So when a magnetic dipole is freely suspended in magnetic field, it possesses the magnetic potential energy on account of its orientation in the magnetic field. When a magnetic dipole having the magnetic dipole moment mu is placed in a magnetic field B, then the magnetic potential energy U possessed by that magnetic dipole will be given as U equal to minus mu dot B. Here it is the scalar product of the magnetic dipole moment mu and the magnetic field. Now this relation is similar to that of the electric potential energy of the electric dipole. U is equal to minus P dot E, where P represents the electric dipole moment and E is the electric field. So both these relations will be similar. Now, as it is the scalar product of mu and b, it will be written as u equal to minus mu b cos theta, because vector a dot vector b equal to ab cos theta, and therefore vector mu dot vector b will be equal to mu b cos theta with minus sign. So this will represent the magnetic potential energy of the magnetic dipole placed in magnetic field. Now let us consider two different cases here regarding the value of this magnetic potential energy. So if theta is equal to 0, that means as theta is the angle between mu and b, if that angle is equal to 0, therefore we can say that mu and b are parallel to each other. Now if mu and b are parallel to each other, then cos theta, that is cos 0, will be equal to 1, and hence the potential energy will be equal to minus mu b. As it is having negative sign, it will represent the minimum magnetic potential energy. So when mu and b are parallel to each other, the magnetic dipole will possess minimum magnetic potential energy. On the other hand, in the second case, if theta is equal to 180 degree, that is the angle between mu and b equal to 180 degree, that means mu and b are anti-parallel to each other. At that time, cos theta, that is cos 180, will be equal to minus 1, and hence magnetic potential energy U equal to plus mu b. As it is plus sign here, therefore this potential energy will be maximum potential energy, and therefore from this it is clear that if mu and b are parallel to each other, there will be minimum potential energy, and if mu and b are anti-parallel, there will be maximum potential energy. Now let us consider the magnetic field due to a current, that is Biot-Savart law. Magnetic field due to a current, that is Biot-Savart law. In order to explain this Biot-Savart law, let us consider an arbitrarily shaped wire carrying current I. Let dl be the small element, that is very small section of length dl of that wire. As current is flowing in the same direction in which the length of the element will be measured, therefore this element is also called as current element. Then due to this current element, we have to find out the magnetic field dB, which is produced at point P at a distance equal to r from this element, and therefore this theta will represent the angle between the length of the element and the line joining this element to that point P. Now dB will represent the magnetic field at that point P due to this current element of length dl. Its direction will be given by right hand rule. By applying right hand rule, if the thumb is indicating direction of current, then the curl fingers will represent the direction of magnetic field, that is at this point P, the dB is the magnitude of magnetic induction and its direction will be perpendicular to the plane of the board and directed inside the board, that is directed inwards, and therefore this dB at point P is perpendicular to the plane of the board and directed inwards. Now according to Biot-Savart law, this magnetic field dB will be equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. So this gives the magnitude of magnetic field at that point P due to that current element dl. So from this relation it is clear that as mu 0 upon 4 pi will be the constant factor, therefore the magnetic field dB will be directly proportional to current I, directly proportional to length of the element dl, and directly proportional to sine of the angle between the length of the element and the line joining that element to that point, that is sine theta, and it will be inversely proportional to square of the distance between the element and that point. And hence in that relation mu 0 is there, which is called as permeability of the free space, whose value is equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere, that will be equal to 1.26 into 10 raised to minus 6 Tesla meter per ampere. Now as this equation represents the magnitude of the magnetic field dB in vector form, that is in terms of magnitude as well as direction, that magnetic field dB will be given as mu 0 upon 4 pi I vector dl cross vector r upon r cube. So this formula represents the vector form of Biot-Savart law. Now let us consider the current in a long straight wire. The current in a long straight wire, that means here we will have to obtain an expression for the magnetic field due to that long straight current carrying wire. And therefore if current is flowing through that infinitely long wire, then what will be the magnetic field produced at any point due to that wire, that we will have to find out. And therefore in order to find that magnetic field, let us consider the infinitely long straight wire which is carrying current I. Then let dl be the small element of that conductor or that wire. Then P is the point at which we have to find out the magnetic field due to that infinitely long straight wire, and therefore let r be the distance of that element from this point P, that is small r, and capital R is the perpendicular distance from that wire to that point P. Now as this wire is very long, it is infinitely long, therefore we can divide that wire into two semi-infinite parts. So that wire will be divided into two equal semi-infinite parts. Now if you consider the length of this element dl, so as this wire is divided, it will be upper semi-infinite part, this will be lower semi-infinite part, and therefore now in this case if you consider that current element dl, due to that current element dl, the magnetic field produced at point P is equal to, suppose dB will be given by Biot-Savart law, that is dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. Now as that wire is considered to be made up of two infinite pieces, infinite parts, and therefore the total magnetic field B at that point P due to the whole wire will be twice of that integration of dB, because that wire is having two semi-infinite part, and therefore that will be written as 2 into integration 0 to infinity dB. We will have to integrate this dB between the limits 0 to infinity, that is length of the wire minimum will be equal to 0, maximum will be infinity. Putting value of dB, we will get 2 into mu 0 upon 4 pi integration 0 to infinity I dl sin theta upon r square. Now here we can also use sine of pi minus theta, because This theta is angle between length of the element and the line joining that element to that point. Similarly, this pi minus theta is also the angle between length of the element and the line joining that element to that point P, and therefore from the geometry of figure now we can write, if this angle is phi, this angle will depend upon the length of this wire. If the length of the wire is small, this phi will be small. If the length of the wire is large, then phi will be large. And therefore from this now we can write, as it is right angle triangle, this angle is phi and this length is L, this length is R, and therefore tangent of this angle tan phi will be equal to L by R, and therefore L will be equal to R tan phi. That we can consider. Similarly, from this triangle, R square will be equal to L square plus R square. R square is equal to L square plus R square, and R will be equal to square root of L square plus R square. Therefore, we have written here from figure R square equal to L square plus R square. Therefore, R is equal to square root of L square plus R square. Similarly, if you consider this angle pi minus theta, sine of pi minus theta will be equal to R by R, capital R upon small r, and therefore here we have written sine of pi minus theta equal to R by R, that is equal to capital R upon square root of L square plus R square. Now if you put these values in the above relation, that is, in that relation I is constant, it will be taken out of integration. Then in place of sine theta, it will be sine of pi minus theta, and that is equal to R upon square root of R square plus L square. If we put that value in this relation, then we will get B equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi. Mu 0 I upon 2 pi, because here 2 2s are 4, so 2 pi we will get. Therefore mu 0 I upon 2 pi integration 0 to infinity R dl upon square root of L square plus R square into L square plus R square. Here we have considered instead of sine theta, that is sine of pi minus theta, and therefore B will be equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi into R. This R is constant, taken out of integration, and integration 0 to infinity dl upon L square plus R square raised to 3 by 2. Here L square plus R square raised to half is there. Here L square plus R square raised to 1 is there. By laws of indices, 1 plus half, that is 3 by 2. And now we will have to find out the value of this integration dl upon L square plus R square raised to 3 by 2. And therefore from this figure again, now we will consider tangent of this phi, that is equal to L by R, and therefore L will be equal to R tan phi. So in order to solve that integration, we have taken here that integration. Let L is equal to R tan phi. If L is equal to R tan phi, now differentiating this, we can write dl equal to R is constant, R into differentiation of tan phi, that is sec square phi d phi, and therefore dl is equal to R sec square phi d phi. Now from this relation, the value of this phi will depend upon value of this L. So if L is equal to 0, this side will be equal to 0. It will be 0 when tan phi equal to 0, and if tan phi is equal to 0, phi will be equal to 0. Similarly, if L is equal to infinity, then this side will be infinity. It will be infinity if tan phi is infinity, and therefore as tan phi is infinity, phi will be equal to pi by 2. And now if we consider this relation, then integration will be equal to 0 to pi by 2. Limiting values will be now 0 and pi by 2. Instead of 0 and infinity, it is 0 and pi by 2, because your angle will be there now. R sec square phi d phi, R sec square phi d phi, that is value of dl upon R square tan square phi plus R square tan square phi plus R square raised to 3 by 2. So that will be written as integration from 0 to pi by 2 r sec square phi d phi r sec square phi d phi upon r square tan square phi plus r square. From this r square raised to 3 by 2 will be taken common, and therefore it will be r raised to 3. So into bracket we will get tan square phi plus 1, so that is tan square phi plus 1 raised to 3 by 2. Now that will be written as 1 by r square will be taken out of integration, and then integration 0 to pi by 2 sec square phi d phi upon this tan square phi will be written as sin square phi upon cos square phi plus 1, and it's raised to 3 by 2. So simplifying it, we will get 1 by r square integration 0 to pi by 2 sec square phi d phi upon, taking cross multiplication, sin square phi plus cos square phi upon cos square phi raised to 3 by 2. Then 1 by r square integration 0 to pi by 2. This cos square phi will be shifted to numerator, and therefore we will get cos cube phi, because cos square phi raised to 3 by 2 is there, so it will be cos cube phi. So cos cube phi we will get into sec square phi d phi upon sin square phi plus cos square phi raised to 3 by 2. Its value will be equal to 1, and therefore integration will be equal to 1 by r square integration 0 to pi by 2 cos cube phi into d phi upon cos square phi. This sec square phi will be written as 1 upon cos square phi, and therefore cos cube phi upon cos square phi, that is cos phi d phi. And therefore to the next step we can write 1 by r square integration 0 to pi by 2 cos phi d phi. But now integration of that cos phi, that is equal to sin phi, and therefore integration we will get 1 by r square into sin phi from 0 to pi by 2. Now putting the upper and lower limits of integration, we can write 1 by r square into sin pi by 2 minus sin 0, that is equal to 1 by r square into sin pi by 2 is 1, sin 0 is 0, and that will be equal to 1 by r square. So that whole integration will be having its value equal to 1 by r square, and therefore we can write b equal to mu 0 I r upon 2 pi into value of that integration 1 by r square. R1 will get cancelled here, and therefore we will get mu 0 I upon 2 pi r. So this equation will represent the magnetic field at any point due to that current carrying infinitely long straight wire. Now as discussed above, as that wire is divided into two semi-infinite parts, for each semi-infinite part the magnetic field will be equal to half of this, that is b equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi r. So this will be the magnetic field for each semi-infinite part of that wire.